a story of true friendship. In the quiet town of Greenridge, where life moved at a slow and peaceful pace, two boys were born just a few houses apart, Daniel Carter and Ethan Brooks. Daniel was the kind of boy who always followed the rules. He was thoughtful, disciplined, and had a deep love for books. His dream was to become a doctor, to help people, and to make his parents proud. Ethan, on the other hand, was wild and free-spirited. He lived for adventure, always looking for the next thrill. He was the kind of boy who would climb the tallest tree just to see the world from a different angle, or sneak in a town fair without a ticket, just for the excitement of it. Despite their differences, the two boys were inseparable. Their friendship was built on a deep understanding. Ethan brought excitement into Daniel's life, and Daniel gave Ethan a sense of stability. While Ethan would convince Daniel to go on daring adventures, Daniel would make sure they always found a way back home safely. Their parents often laughed, calling them fire and ice, yet everyone in Greenridge knew that nothing could come between them. One summer evening, when they were 12, Ethan burst into Daniel's room, his eyes shining with excitement. "Dan, I found something amazing." "You have to see it," Ethan whispered dramatically. "What is it?" Daniel asked, looking up from his book. "There's a cave in the forest near the old railway tracks. I bet it leads to a secret tunnel. We have to check it out." Daniel hesitated. He knew sneaking into the forest wasn't a good idea, but Ethan's excitement was contagious. After a moment, he sighed, closed his book, and nodded. "All right, but just for a little while." The boys made their way into the dense forest, their laughter echoing through the trees. But as the sun began to set, they realized they had ventured too far. Ethan turned to Daniel, a nervous grin on his face. Do you remember which way we came from?" Daniel's stomach twisted. I think it was that way." But as they tried to find their way back, the paths all looked the same. The sky darkened, and the sound of the forest grew louder. Suddenly, Ethan stepped on a loose rock and tumbled down a small hill, landing with a painful cry. Daniel rushed to his side. "Ethan, are you okay?" Ethan winced. "I think I twisted my ankle." Panic set in. They were lost, and now Ethan was injured. But Daniel didn't let fear take over. He tore a piece of his shirt, wrapped it around Ethan's swollen ankle, and crouched down. "Get on my back. I'll carry you." Ethan blinked. "You? Carry me? You can barely carry your school bag." "Just shut up and hold on," Daniel muttered. For hours, Daniel carried Ethan to the darkening forest, his legs shaking with exhaustion. Just when he thought he couldn't take another step, they heard voices, search teams sent by their worried parents. That night, as they lay in their beds, Ethan turned to Daniel and whispered, "You're my brother, Dan. No matter what happens, I've got your back." And Daniel whispered back, "Same here." Years passed, and high school changed everything. Daniel remained the same, focused, responsible, and determined to achieve his dream of becoming a doctor. Ethan, however, became more reckless. He fell in with the wrong crowd, skipping school, getting into fights, and chasing meaningless thrills. Daniel tried to pull him back, but Ethan resisted. "Not everyone wants to live by rules, Daniel." Ethan snapped one evening when Daniel confronted him. "This isn't about rules, Ethan. It's about your future." Ethan laughed bitterly. "Oh, come on. You think you're better than me just because you follow the straight path? Newsflash, Dan, life isn't just about books and grades." That night, for the first time, they parted ways without saying goodbye. 1 year later, the town buzzed with shocking rumor. Ethan had been caught stealing from a local store. Daniel refused to believe it until Ethan himself admitted it. "It was just a stupid dare," Ethan muttered, looking away. Daniel's hands clenched into fists. "A dare? You risked everything for a dare." Ethan scoffed. "Relax. It's not a big deal." "Not a big deal?" Daniel shook his head. "You're throwing your life away, Ethan. You don't get it, do you?" Ethan's voice rose. "I don't want to live your perfect, boring life. I want to be free." Daniel took a deep breath, then said the hardest words he had ever spoken. "Then be free, Ethan. But don't expect me to watch you destroy yourself." And with that, he walked away. Years passed. Daniel went to college, but something always felt missing. The laughter, the adventures, the bond he had once shared with Ethan. It was all gone. One winter night, his phone rang. An unknown number. "Dan, it's me." The voice was weak, broken. I need help." Ethan had hit rock bottom. He had gotten involved with dangerous people and was now desperate to escape. Without hesitation, Daniel found him, beaten, shivering, and lost. He took Ethan home, patched up his wounds, and didn't say a word. Ethan finally broke down. "Why are you helping me? After everything I did?" Daniel looked at him, eyes steady. "Because you're my best friend. And best friends don't give up on each other." With Daniel's help, Ethan turned his life around. He found a job, distanced himself from his past, and worked toward a better future. One evening, as they sat by their old treehouse, Ethan whispered, "You never gave up on me, Dan." Daniel smiled. "That's what friends are for." And just like that, fire and ice had found their balance once more. Moral of the story: 1. True friendship isn't about never fighting. It's about never giving up on each other. 2. People change, but real friends help each other find their way back. 3. A friend who stands by you at your worst is a friend for life. Some friendships fade with time, but real ones always find their way home. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, share, and like the video.